Good day, everyone, and welcome to Different Stages Radio. I'm your host, JJ, broadcasting in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And my guest today is a Faroese vocalist, lyricist, multi-instrumentalist who will be starting her North American tour in Vancouver on February 2nd in support of her latest album, ENN, that was released last June on Season of Mist Records. Please welcome my guest, Eivør. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So you've been a very busy lady the last year or so with, of course, the release of N last year, tons of touring, including some of these shows on this upcoming run that are already sold out or close to sold out. You must be pretty excited about that.
Yes, I am thrilled and super excited to tour Canada and the US again. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things, to be honest, to play live in front of an audience. That's where music makes so much sense to me.
And that's you connect to the people, that sort of thing. Now,
Yes,
you had a
yeah.
very special show that you were a guest at over Christmas, correct? In Iceland?
Yeah, I did
Yeah. How was that?
after my big tour here in Europe, I did some Christmas shows in Iceland. And I do that every now and then where I join I lived in Iceland for many years, so I have a lot of friends and connections there. So I often go to Iceland in the Christmas month to kind of do Christmas shows. They love it up there.
Somebody saves
They're
you.
very Christmassy in
Very good.
Iceland.
Somebody saves you a piece of floor that you can throw a sleeping bag on and you're good to go.
Yeah, I have some friends that I like to stay with. I could stay at hotels, but I prefer visiting friends when I'm over there to catch up, friends that I haven't seen for a long time and stuff like that.
Get in a little bit of trouble, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a little bit of
It
trouble.
happens.
Yeah,
It happens,
very
yes.
good. So you played some shows this past November in Australia with Halen, correct?
Yeah, I
How was
did.
that?
It was my first time in Australia, and I also visited New Zealand, and it was wow. I'm kind of speechless. It was such a beautiful experience, both to meet the audience and to discover that I have a lot of followers there, and also just to experience the land and the people. And yeah, it was incredible.
Looking forward to going back someday, I assume.
Yes, we're already planning my next tour there, which will happen in 2026. So that's very exciting.
Very exciting. And then as we go back to the upcoming tour with Sylvain, you've already done a few shows with her as well this past fall.
Yeah, she toured Europe with me this past fall, and
Yeah.
it was wonderful to get to know her and to get to know her music also, which I was unfamiliar with before. So it was a yeah, it was a beautiful friendship that we established actually on that tour, and I'm very thrilled that she will be joining me on this tour in Canada and America as well. Yeah.
Well, she said the same about you yesterday because I spoke to her as well to help
Oh.
promote and get this tour excited. You know, people get all jacked, and she had nothing but positive and amazing things to say about you and the crew, how well she was treated and so forth. So she's really looking forward to joining you again in a couple weeks' time.
Oh, that's great. She's a great artist, and I really enjoy listening to her music. And it's wonderful to tour with someone where you are actually you quite spoiled when you get to hear such great music before your own show. So it's luxury to have her along.
And now, is there any chance that maybe some point down the road that the two of you may consider maybe doing something together or guesting on another's recording, maybe perhaps?
I mean, I would absolutely love that to do something with her, and yeah, it's not out of the question at all. So let's see what happens.
Let's see where it all goes. Now,
Yes.
was she something that you chose? Was Sylvain something that you chose for the tour? Or was this something that was put together through your new label, Season of Mist? Because that was a big change for you.
Um, Yeah, it was. Actually, I think it was like a mix because Like I said, I was not familiar with her music before, but I was introduced to her music through the label and our bookers. We have the same label and same booking agency here in Europe, and I was looking for an act for to do the support that would kind of fit into the universe of N and what we're doing on stage, because I think it's so important when you have a show. Yeah, there she is. And it's very important for me that it's a full, like a whole experience. I see it as a part of the show. And then I came across her music. When I heard it, I immediately felt like, oh my God, it would be amazing to have her um, come, do a guest performance before we play. And luckily, she was into the idea, and yeah, it just adds so much to the whole experience, I think, having her along.
Well, I think you're exactly right, because when I saw the tour first being announced, it seemed that this just makes sense, that it just makes the
Yeah.
experience and not, oh, you're going to see one artist. It's like, no, you're going to see the whole thing, which brings me back to the first time that I saw you when you were touring with Wardruna. And I'd heard some stuff
Oh,
about you, and I wasn't really aware because, a lot of times us on this side of the water, we're not as aware as we'd like to be. Some are, some aren't. And I don't mind being ashamed of that, but I didn't know. But there's something that said, I need to get there early. And I'm glad that my wife and I did go down there early because we're immediate fans and we're just immediately blown away. And we've seen you now solo twice since then. And we're curious
oh, wow,
how
amazing.
how that all lined up as far as not just getting that gig, but your connection and the work that you've done with Einar from Wardruna.
Yeah, I mean, there is a beautiful connection, I think, between Nordic artists and Einar invited me to come along on their tour, and I thought, wow, that would be amazing because I haven't toured much in that part of the world either, and it felt very kind of natural to support Wardruna because somehow our music has similarities, with our roots in Nordic music. So it was a nice balance, I think, between us, and yeah, and we have done some collaborations, since, and become very good friends. So that's nice.
And of your many collaborations, because you have many of them, I was just a bit interested in knowing if there's certain ones that maybe stand out or certain ones that maybe have flown under the radar that some of your fans or people out there might not know about that are perhaps worth a revisit.
Oh, yeah, I've done a lot of collaboration
Yeah.
during the years, and I really enjoy doing that because it kind of takes you to new places as an artist, places that you wouldn't like just uh, you know, creative places that you wouldn't go on your own. But when you work with someone, you kind of, it kind of widens your sight a little bit and pulls you in different directions. Um, and one of my favorite collaborations, I think, has been working on film music with John Lunn. And that was just such a creative and fun collaboration that lasted for 8 years. So it's been a big part of my life. Um, that's one of them. And then I've worked with yeah, who else? Oh my God, I've lost count.
Well, the big one,
But
maybe the Mr. Black, perhaps, or to pronounce that wrong, Kristen?
oh, Christian Black, yes.
Yeah,
Oh yes, many
yes,
years ago we
yes.
we did a lot of collaborations also. He's a composer and jazz pianist from the Faroe Islands. Yeah, we worked together a lot, and I've worked with the Danish radio big band, and I worked with yeah, Bear McCreary from America, like on video game scores, and
Hmm.
yeah, I mean it's a wide variety of collaborations that I've done, which I'm very grateful for.
And now with Christian Black, now it was his label that had released your first number of albums on his own label. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct. It's
yeah,
called
and
tooth.
yeah,
Yeah.
and many of those, especially in North America, maybe it's a much easier throughout Europe, but your albums are awfully hard to find. And I was wondering if maybe at some point that there might be some consideration now with Season and Mist, maybe doing some reissues or repackaging, that sort of thing. Is anything of that nature in your
Yeah,
mind?
I've thought about that a lot also, especially because I actually have an anniversary this year that it's 25 years ago since my first album was released, my debut album. And I've been thinking about, doing some packaging or some, box sets or something fun. So let's see. I have to dig deeper into that.
Go searching through the archives and all the various shoe boxes, and
Exactly. Dig into the past.
good luck with that. But back,
Thank you.
we fast forward of this brilliant piece of art right here. For people that might be checking out this interview or hearing about you for the first time, or maybe haven't had a chance to check out the album, can you give a quick briefing of the album for people that
Yeah, this
check it
is
out?
this is
Yeah.
my latest album, N, which was released last year, and this album is yeah, what can I say about it? It's a very atmospheric album, I'd say. It has, and for me, this album was like a homecoming. I felt because I've been experimenting a lot during the years with my music, and for some reason, this album felt very much like it. I brought it all together, all my experiences and all my collaborations and all these things and my work in film scores also, and my work with my band and traveling through many genres of rock and classical and electronic and folk. On this album, it kind of all melts together for me in a beautiful way, and it's like a journey, this album, which starts off very atmospheric and goes into more beat-driven tracks and then takes off again in a more spatial, atmospheric way. So it's like a journey through space for me, almost.
But very personal, I would say too, because there's definitely, I find it's not in a nervous way, but it's very comforting as well. Like it's very individual. Does that make
Yeah, it kind
sense?
of
Yeah.
is, and it explores themes of humanity, or connection to our planet and our the earth and between people. So it's a quite earthy album at the same time as it also sometimes takes off to into space.
Now, is the earthy element perhaps because didn't you kind of go hide away in a very small village to write and record most of the album or a good chunk of it?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
did. I stayed at a little like a little cottage in a tiny village in the Faroe Islands, which is very far away from everything, very isolated and very close to the Atlantic Ocean, where you can just see the storms and the waves and the cliffs, and it was that was a very inspiring experience to be there and write this album, and I kind of felt very connected to my roots when I was there, and that kind of um, put its mood, I think, on this album.
Now, is that something that you consider doing again for a future album, kind of hiding away like that, or do you think that worked for this, for N?
It really felt like the right thing to do for this album, at least. I enjoy doing that when I write, to kind of just sneak off and just be somewhere far away from everything. But for this particular album, it really felt necessary because I had in my head, I heard it all, but I really needed to find this complete, total peace and space to do it, to bring out all these elements and moods and sounds that I was looking for, that I was hearing in my head.
That you want
So I might do it again. It's a good recipe.
now beyond your phenomenal voice and your amazing um, musicality. As far as your instrumentation, are you self-taught or did you take lessons for things? Because people who once again may not know, like you play a lot of different things.
Yes. Well, I took some piano lessons when I was younger, but
Mm.
didn't like take it all the way. My main instrument, I'd say, is guitar playing, and I've always enjoyed that. And I'm basically self-taught. My mother taught me three chords when I was little, and I took it from there. And then I've, learned from other musicians, I guess. And there was actually a Canadian artist who taught me a lot about guitar playing, which is another collaboration that comes to mind. And his name is Bill Bourne. He's sadly not with us anymore, but we toured together a lot and made an album together as well. And he was great at finger picking and taught me a lot of tricks. Um, and I think I always find a lot of inspiration and great lessons when I do collaborations and when I play with other musicians.
Get that inspiration going. Now, I wanted to bring up, you won a big award here, the 2024 Album of the Year at the Folk and Rock Awards. How was that for you?
Yes.
Was that like what happened?
Yeah, I was totally, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very honored and it's amazing. I'm just sitting here in my little island in the Faroe Islands, so far away, and then I win an award and yeah, that's crazy
What's going
and
on here?
amazing.
So now on this run, are you going to be having product? Because product is very important to me. Will you have any back catalog with you, or will you just be solely having this on deck along with some other paraphernalia?
I'm definitely bringing a lot of merch with me on this tour, both merch and albums. And I will, of course, obviously have the new album N with me, but also some albums from my back catalog as well. And I have some live albums also that I released that I like to bring with me on tour.
Well, I think you should. I think you should because there's a lot of things that people might not have in their own collections yet, or perhaps are going to see you for the first time, like I didn't have to buy everything afterwards. So that
And then you had to go through the struggle of not finding it anywhere.
exactly, and nothing like supporting the artist directly,
Oh,
right?
that is true. We need that
So how's it been with
for
season so far?
artists.
How's it been
Oh,
so far?
it's been wonderful, and I've really enjoyed our collaboration so far, and it's also introduced me to wonderful artists such as Sylvain, who's coming with me on this tour, and so I'm very grateful for that.
Awesome. Now I think what was the last? There was one more other thing here. Where did it go? We ran away. It ran away from my mind. That's all. It's all
Oh
good. You just you're
no.
no. It's just a little one. Just wondering if you had any ideas yet for your follow up. Are you fully concentrating on N right now, and then you'll take a bit of a break, or do you have any other plans in place for 2025?
Yeah, this year will be like a continuation a little bit of the touring of N. So last year was my biggest tour year ever. I've never been on such a big long tour before, so it was a highlight for me. And this year it kind of continues. I'm coming to America again, and then I have a big tour in Europe again in the fall. No, in the spring, I mean. And then in the fall, it's again a big tour in Europe. So this year will be a lot about touring, but I'm also writing new songs, and I've taken some time aside, in between tours to kind of finish the songs that I have in my drawers because I'm hoping to finish an album this year as well. So let's see how it goes.
And then there'll be another 17 or 18 collaborations as well in the mix somehow.
Let's see what we find time for. But actually, at the moment, I'm focusing mostly on my own album writings and touring.
Okay.
And a lot of dates are already lining up for 2026. So, yeah, crazy times.
Any final people that you might consider, or I shouldn't say consider, would like to do a collaboration with that you haven't done so yet with? Anybody on your radar?
Oh my goodness. Um, there's so many great artists out there. I haven't really had any specific wishes lately, but I had the thought the other day that I would love to do something with an artist called Chelsea Wolfe. I don't know if you heard about her, but
Yeah,
she's amazing.
yeah,
And
saw her
I went to her
last year.
show. Yeah, and I thought she played such a great show. So that could be fun.
Okay. I'll get my people to call her people and maybe we'll line
Yeah,
something
please
up.
call her.
Well, thank you again, Eivør. I appreciate your time today. Please, everybody, go check out Eivør and Sylvain this coming starting February 2nd in Vancouver at the Pearl, which is a great venue to see that show. Many of the shows, tickets are running very low or tickets have sold very, very well. So get on it. You don't want to miss out on this. Like she said, she's going to have plenty of product at the show. So please support her directly. We also will have a pair of tickets to give away to the show as well, courtesy of our friends at Moto Live. So we got you connected. So thank you very much again, Eivør, for checking out Different Stages Radio. And we'll see
Thank
you
you
again
so
soon.
much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.